One word comes to mind, the word emboldened. Trump and his team is going to be emboldened by this settlement by ABC, because rather than fight this out any further, rather than trying to go to trial, ABC is choosing to settle.
I don't say this often, but Brian Stelter is correct.
In a high-profile legal showdown that drew national attention, ABC News has agreed to pay $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit filed by Donald Trump. The lawsuit stemmed from a false statement made by ABC host George Stephanopoulos, who incorrectly said Trump was found guilty of rape in the E. Jean Carroll case. In reality, the court found Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation, not rape. The error sparked intense debate over the role of the media, the boundaries of press freedom, and whether defamation lawsuits are increasingly being used to intimidate or silence journalists. Commentator Anna Kasparian cautioned that the settlement might set a troubling precedent, making it easier for powerful figures to pressure news organizations and discourage critical reporting. This case raises deeper questions about the balance between holding the media accountable and protecting its vital role in a functioning democracy. How should journalism navigate factual accuracy, while also guarding against legal threats that could chill investigative reporting?
Has agreed to pay $15 million toward President-elect Donald Trump's presidential library in order to settle a defamation lawsuit that Trump himself filed against the news organization. Now, Trump filed this suit against ABC News over anchor George Stephanopoulos, inaccurately claiming at the time that Trump was found liable for rape in the E. Jean Carroll case. Now, he had actually been found civilly liable for sexual abuse, not rape, and there is a distinction here.
And you've endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and two separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape. How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw?
Well, I will tell you, I was raped at the age of 16. And any rape victim will tell you, I've lived for 30 years with an incredible amount of shame over being raped. I didn't come forward because of that judgment and shame that I felt. And it's a shame that you will never feel, George. And I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not gonna do that.
It's actually not about shaming you. It's a question about Donald Trump.
No, you are shaming me.
You've endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Right.
Donald Trump has been found liable for rape by a jury. Donald Trump has been found liable for defaming the victim of that rape by a jury.
Now, just to give you further context, Stephanopoulos was referring to a lawsuit by E. Jean Carroll, who alleged that Trump raped her in 1996 in the dressing room of a New York City department store. While the jury found that Carroll's attorneys did not prove the rape allegation, they did agree that Trump forcibly sexually abused and defamed her and ruled that Trump had to pay Carroll $5 million. So let's talk a little bit about the distinctions here and how New York actually changed its laws following this lawsuit that E. Jean Carroll had brought against.
The lawsuit began after George Stephanopoulos mistakenly claimed that Donald Trump was found guilty of rape. In reality, the court held Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation charges distinct from rape under New York law. Rather than contest the case in court, ABC News opted to settle, agreeing to pay $15 million to Trump's presidential library. That amount reportedly included $1 billion in legal fees, a figure that seems highly exaggerated or possibly a reporting error, along with a personal $1 million contribution from ABC also issued a public statement expressing regret for the error. The settlement raises serious questions. Did ABC settle simply to avoid a drawn-out legal battle? And if so, did they compromise their journalistic integrity and independence? In the process,
Stephanopoulos said at the time of that interview with Nancy Mace was inaccurate. And so at that point, Donald Trump pounced on it and filed a lawsuit against ABC News. And so rather than really fight the defamation case, which, by the way, had gotten to a point where they were going to do what is it called when you're depositions? They were about to do depositions. ABC News decides, let's settle it instead. As part of the settlement, ABC will pay the $15 million to the Trump Presidential Library, which currently only exists online, plus another $1 million in Trump's attorney fees, court records show. That $1 million is to be paid by George Stephanopoulos himself. And the network also added a note to the online story about the interview, noting that both ABC and Stephanopoulos regret the comments. Now, look, this has made members of the media, legal experts, and liberal pundits very upset because they feel that this sets a terrible precedent for the press. So Democratic attorney Mark Elias wrote, "Knee bent, ring kissed, another legacy news outlet chooses obedience." Reporter Oliver Willis argued on Threads that this is actually how democracy dies. MSNBC legal analyst Barbara McQuaid believes that this settlement will have a chilling effect on the media. And I think that those predictions might be correct, because now we're hearing that Donald Trump is in fact emboldened and is now planning on filing lawsuits against pollsters, lawsuits against CBS, Bob Woodward, the Des Moines Register. In fact, here he is talking about Ann Seltzer's Iowa poll leading up to the election, which was pretty ridiculous, but suing her over it sounds a little crazy. Let's watch. So, look, I am worried about the chilling effect on the press. Now, the press should be careful, and you shouldn't be sloppy, and you should go out of your way to be accurate. But the other thing is, look, in order to win a defamation suit, the person filing the suit would have to prove actual malice, meaning that the Trump team would have to prove that George Stephanopoulos knowingly lied and kept saying that he was found lying.
The ABC settlement has ignited a major debate about the future of journalism. Commentators like Anna Kasparian warn it could set a dangerous precedent, encouraging wealthy and powerful individuals to file lawsuits against media outlets in an effort to silence critical reporting. By choosing to settle rather than defend its reporting in court, ABC may have sent a message that could intimidate other news organizations into avoiding controversial stories for fear of costly legal battles. This phenomenon, known as a chilling effect, could stifle investigative journalism and deter bold, necessary reporting. At the heart of the issue is the actual malice standard in U.S. defamation law, which provides strong legal protection for journalists. To win, Trump would have needed to prove that ABC either knew the statement was false or acted with reckless disregard for the trutha, high bar. Many legal experts believe ABC had a solid defense and likely would have prevailed in court. So, why settle? Some speculate that ABC wanted to avoid the discovery process, which could have exposed internal documents or employee testimony unrelated to the case, potentially revealing embarrassing or damaging information.